Hello everyone, I am Abhinav Narayan Harish, and today I'll be discussing our approach, double JPEG compression detection of distinguishable blocks in images compressed with the same quantization matrix in MLSP 2020. In today's world of digital media, it has become very easy to modify images using image processing software like Adobe Photoshop. In such cases, it becomes essential to identify the purity or authenticity of digital media. In this given example, 350 in the original image has been modified and converted into a 300. In such a case, it's very important to note that it's difficult to detect forgery visually. One cannot simply say by looking at the forged image whether it was original or whether it was fake. And here one needs to rely on image processing tools and techniques to identify forgery. One such technique that we'll be discussing in this presentation is double compression forgery. Consider a single compressed JPEG image which is opened in an image processing software and resaved in the same JPEG format. Then the image as a whole becomes double compressed. We can detect double compression at the image level and thus identify forgery for the entire image. We can take this one step further by reducing the level of detection to the block size of 8x8 at which JPEG operates in order to localize forgery. We'll be discussing this approach in our presentation. We now introduce a few key terms related to JPEG compression. JPEG compression is composed of three steps: the discrete cosine transform, quantization, and encoding. The decompression operation reverses these three steps with two additional steps, rounding and truncation, to convert the floating point values obtained after IDCT into the displayable image range. A few key points related to JPEG compression. The image is split into 8x8 blocks to reduce the computational complexity. Quantization helps us get rid of less relevant information after conducting the discrete cosine transform. Overall, JPEG is a lossy process and leads to artifacts. We leverage the artifacts from JPEG compression along with the block level transform of DCT to formulate our approach for 8x8 forgery detection in JPEG images. We introduce the term error image as a difference between the rounded and truncated version after taking IDCT to the unrounded and untruncated version. Mathematically, as stated by Yang et al., an error image ENQ after n compressions with quality factor Q is defined as follows. Here, DNQ is the dequantized DCT coefficients and F represents the quantized DCT coefficients. The notations are summarized below. Now it is important to note that single and double compressed blocks may not always be distinguishable. And thus directly utilizing all single and double compressed blocks from a JPEG image is suboptimal as it would involve many similar blocks in both categories. To handle this, we define a new term, stability index, to denote the number of compressions a JPEG block can undergo before it becomes indistinguishable. Mathematically, we define stability index as the smallest integer for which phi SQ of BNQ is equal to phi S plus I Q of BNQ, where BNQ represents the entropy decoded quantized DCT coefficients. Phi PQ represents P decompression compression operations, and FNQ represents the quantized DCT coefficients. Analyzing blocks of different stability index, we propose to utilize a stack of error images instead of a single error image as our input. The intuition behind this is that it takes into account information from future compression stages also. We also take into account the DCT version of the error image stack, which is shown to have complementary features for classification. In this study, we only include distinguishable blocks or ones with stability index greater than or equal to 1. This is our network architecture. A few key points about this architecture are as follows. It is a multi-column CNN architecture which processes two input tensors, the error image and its DCT version. We employ a dense connection from previous layers to the current layer. This is important as it prevents information loss across convolutional layers. Before classification, both channel information is concatenated and passed through a final MLP layer, which makes a classification decision. Here we utilize dropout and L2 regularization in order to prevent overfitting on the training data. We conduct our experiments on the USIT dataset containing 1338 images in the raw.tir format. Single and double compressed versions of these images are saved from quality factors ranging from 20 to 90. We extract all possible distinguishable blocks with stability index greater than or equal to 1, aligned with the DCT grid. As the number of distinguishable blocks reduces with the number of compressions, the number of single compressed blocks is greater than number of double compressed blocks. In order to ensure class balance, we reduce the number of single compressed blocks to match the number of double compressed blocks. For each quality factor, we select the first 669 images for training and the rest for testing. And for each 8x8 error image block, we extract its future K compressed versions to form an error image stack. We use Adam Optimizer with standard parameters for training. Each element in the error image stack is normalized across the dataset to have a mean 0 and a variance 1. We choose K equal to 3 for our experiments. We use 3 metrics for our evaluation: true positive rate, true negative rate, and balanced accuracy. Here, double compression is treated as a positive class. The third metric is able to account for the different number of blocks in the single and double compressed category in our test dataset. Depending on the range of values, error image blocks can be divided into two categories: rounding error blocks and truncation error blocks. Rounding error blocks have all their values exclusively in the range minus 0.5 to 0.5. On the other hand, if any of the values exceeds this given range, it is called as a truncation error block. In this section, we'll analyze the effect of each of these blocks on our classification accuracy. We plot a graph of the distribution of rounding and truncation error blocks across quality factors. Here we make a key observation that the number of truncation error blocks remain approximately the same across quality factor. On the other hand, the number of single rounding blocks increase significantly, especially at quality factor equal to 80. The number of double rounding blocks remain negligible across quality factor. Now we show the results of our classifier on these two blocks separately. We can observe that at quality factor equal to 80, the accuracy of classification of rounding error blocks increases significantly by 24%. This can again be attributed to the increase in number of rounding error blocks at quality factor equal to 80. On the other hand, the number of truncation error blocks remain the same. Therefore, the truncation accuracy remains approximately the same across quality factor. In summary, we make three key observations. Rounding error blocks are mainly in single compressed category. The accuracy of classification of rounding error blocks is small at smaller quality factor. As the number of rounding error blocks increases, the rounding accuracy also increases. An important point to note over here is that we do not train a separate classifier for this analysis. We only analyze results separately on these two blocks. Now we will discuss the performance of our approach on all distinguishable blocks. We observe that our approach performs better than the baseline for all quality factors except 20. We also observe an increasing trend of accuracy with quality factor. At QF equal to 80, we observe that our accuracy increases by about 6% from the previous value, that is QF equal to 75. This can be attributed to the increased number of rounding error blocks at QF equal to 80. These rounding error blocks help in improving the classification accuracy. In summary, we make the following observations. Our proposed approach is better at all quality factors except 20. An average improvement in accuracy of about 2.8% is observed, and the balanced accuracy in general increases with quality factor. Now we will discuss our approach on cross detection with training on one particular quality factor and testing on an unseen quality factor. As it can be observed in the table, our approach can generalize well to unseen quality factors with a small reduction in accuracy. We make one key observation over here, that the accuracy is maximum in the top left and bottom right corner of our table. Again, this can be looked upon in terms of rounding and truncation error blocks. As discussed earlier, the quality factors 60, 70, and 75 have majorly truncation error blocks, and 80, 90, and 95 have a higher influence of rounding error blocks. As a result, our network is able to generalize well among these categories. In conclusion, we have proposed a multi-column CNN architecture to identify compression-specific fingerprints for classification. We have analyzed the results through the rounding and truncation error block analysis. As a future direction, one could explore the area of unseen quality factor detection to create a universal classifier to identify JPEG forgery irrespective of quality factor. Thank you.